Hey, everybody. Welcome to my channel. It's Dr. Dar here, where I share a little bit about how to lead more effectively so that you can increase your confidence, you can increase your purpose, and you can also increase your inclusivity. Today, we'll talk about the situational leadership approach. This week, we went to the TRIO conference in North Carolina, and I got a chance to share with staff on their different leadership styles as it relates to working with others. And what really stood out to me was how our leadership can either elevate or limit some of our team's success. And so today I'm going to cover some of that. Can't wait to share more with you. Imagine you're managing a new member in your team who's really excited and eager to be in the role, but you take a hands-off approach on working with them. You don't give them much direction, you don't give them much support, and you tell them that you want them to be autonomous in their experience. How do you think that's going to impact them? Or picture having a highly motivated and skilled person on your team, but you want to be more directive. You want to be more overbearing. You're going to give them step-by-step directions on how to do things correctly. That might lead to the lack of confidence. That might lead to more frustration and reduce their ability to be able to connect deeply in the work and perform. It might even decrease morale. And so you see how these different approaches based on these different experiences can really change how a person perceives the team, it perceives your leadership, and also how they get to outcomes. And so the situational approach is perfect for you because it helps you think deeper about what's the right style of leadership for this particular person or group. So, the situational approach to leadership really helps people understand that there are different ways that we can approach leadership with groups or individuals who have different needs. The important thing that we need to know is that there are so many different ways that we can get to an outcome. We don't need to take one approach. And so you have the directing style, which is more focused on getting people step by step focused, and you're really involved in the process. Then you have the coaching style. Again, this is where you give them a step by step opportunity to be able to dive deeper into the work. These folks are really dependent on you, but they're also wanting to have some autonomy in that journey. Then you have supporting, where you kind of give them the direction, but at the same time, you kind of step back and allow for them to ask you questions when it's needed. And then it's delegating, when you're really giving them the direction, but you step back and you really kind of are not a part of the process of them getting the work done. You just told them exactly what it is that they need to get done. For example, if somebody is highly capable but lacks confidence, supporting might be the role that you want to take because it really helps them succeed without micromanaging them. So let's say you're working with a study group and they're confident, but they're frustrated. And so maybe the coaching approach might actually help them in this situation where you're actively guiding them through the steps, right? You're walking through the steps with them, but at the same time, the goal is to help them reach the confidence level so that you don't have to continue the journey with them. You can continue moving them forward without being present. That's the coaching method. It really does help people gain the confidence, but you don't walk them all the way through. You just get them started. And so when you have delegating folks, these folks are low supportive, low directive behaviors. And so you want to be able to help them not only move forward, but you want to make sure that they know that they have all the tools that they need to move the thing forward. And they don't necessarily need you to get those things done. And then you have directive. These are folks who are high directive but low support. And so they just really need the actual step-by-step process. And then once you kind of have mapped out everything that they need to do, you can really step back and then allow them to move forward without you. So I remember talking at the Trio conference in North Carolina, and the beautiful thing about this one is we got a chance to do the actual assessment in the session. And I had a woman who talked about how she's definitely supporting and she's definitely coaching, but she wants to be more delegating, meaning that she is always hands-on. She's always working with people, but she wants to be able to get them to a point where they're able to go move forward without her. And so what we talked about was what are the different behaviors that you're doing to set people up for them to understand that you can be more delegating? Are you giving them tasks? Are you allowing them to make mistakes? Are you allowing them to be able to work and reflect on their mistakes and so they can work and move forward after figuring things out? Like some of the times, what I learned in this situation, or what I learned from this person who talked about their leadership, is that they don't have a lot of trust in their team. And so when you don't have a lot of trust, you don't delegate. You just continuously stay in the process. Sometimes you even micromanage the process, but the goal is to be able to build trust. And so what I talked to her about was developing some trust building activities that she kind of do in her meetings and she do in her one-on-ones so that she can understand her team better. Maybe even doing some assessments to understand, like, maybe these are the things that I can trust you with. And these are the things that I need to make sure that I'm a little bit more monitoring in my leadership. And so that was kind of the thing that we got a chance to talk about. So there was a really, really fruitful conversation on leadership in the situational approach. So what's one challenge that you've had in adopting your leadership when working with others? Put it in the comments and let me discuss it later, maybe on another video, and so I can address your questions or your comments. Also, here's a little offer for you. If you haven't been to my website, you can take a quiz that helps you understand your leadership style, or you can book a session with me, whether that's coaching or speaking, to bring this work to your team so we can think about how we can be more effective and impactful in our leadership. So the value of understanding the situational leadership framework is really in understanding that there is a different ways that we can approach leadership to be effective with our teams. Whether if you're being directive, you're being supportive, you're being coaching, or you're being delegating, each one of these styles will help you work with the different types of people that you have on your team. So to recap, know that leadership is not one size fits all, and not every size fits the needs of every single person of your team. And so having the abilities to adapt and change, to be able to morph your style to meet the needs of your people is really what it means to create an inclusive environment that fosters success, belonging, respect, value, right, and confidence in your leadership. So if you found this helpful, please leave a comment below, like and share, subscribe to the channel. I love to hear from you. I love to connect with you. And of course, as always, keep doing the good work.